Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Now, with all the hype and excitement surrounding Bannerlord, I was thinking to myself, why was Mount and Blade Warband so good? What makes it into this iconic medieval simulator? What made it set the benchmark for games of the same genre to come? This year, so many medieval period titles are coming into the gaming world, and you see so many people saying, but the combat isn't as good as Mount and Blade, or this reminds me of Mount and Blade. Because of all of this, I made it my duty to find out what made Mount and Blade Warband so good. To find an answer with solely one person's opinion is no answer at all. Therefore, I got an announcement to be put out on the official Mount and Blade Bannerlord Steam group, and so I will be taking ideas and adding my own to compile the video. Let's start with a biggie. Modding has always been a massive part of the Mount and Blade series. From small graphical enhancement to new mechanics, even to a massive total conversions with new troop types, diplomacy, economy additions, and whole new maps, giving the player endless ways to customize their game to their liking. With Greeks, Romans, future soldiers being added into the single player, alongside well-known franchises such as Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. Mods have not only been for single player though. Multiplayer mods took off with some earlier modifications such as Mountain Gladius, the Roman era in its imperial days, where players would play as Rome or barbarians, and hack and slash into the enemy. This even became a community event mod, where legions and tribes were formed and private events would take place known as shield battles. I have to say, back in the days of this mod, these events were some of the best fun I've ever had in Mount and Blade Warband. Mount Gladius inspired other mods, such as March of Rome, which you can find multiple videos on my channel. Other multiplayer mods include Full Invasion 2, the bot wave fighting game mode, where you team up with friends and battle your way to victory and see how long you can hold off the hordes. Before the popular Napoleonic Wars DLC was released, it was inspired by a community-made mod called Mount and Musket, which offered players the 18th century multiplayer total conversion many had wanted. Next is the combat system. If you say to most players, what makes Warband so fun and replayable? Many would say it's the combat system. Mount and Blade is famous for its quad directional combat mechanics. I'm not sure if quad directional is a real phrase, but it now is because I say so. Tale Worlds have managed to make the fighting so simple to learn, yet at the same time so difficult to master. Anyone can pick up a sword in Mount and Blade and kill a few peasants. Anyone can brandish a shield and block incoming arrows. But mastering these techniques takes time and practice. Being able to fend off 3 or 4 incoming knights with only a sword and your wits takes quick reaction times and fast footwork. Chambering incoming swings requires timing to perfection, with your death being the result of a missed swing a millisecond out. Feinting against opponents takes skill and opportunistic thinking. To me, there is nothing more satisfying than charging into battle with nothing more than a great sword and armour and coming out of a melee with 4 enemy bodies lying before you. Hearing the thud of a crossbow as your bolt connects with the skull of an oblivious player, or even watching as an enemy slowly ragdolls down the saddle of their steed after being sniped with a longbow. These to me are what makes the game so rewarding. Community events. Many of you will know about this, but community events have been going on in Mount and Blade Warband for years. May it be a native shield battle where hundreds of players go head to head in a blood-curdling battle, or Napoleonic Wars line battle with the sound of cannon and musket fill the air. These community events have shaped the future for Mount and Blade, turning it from a single-player experience with a multiplayer section into a game which has revolutionized how multiplayer games are played. The private events made the game into an iconic title in the multiplayer industry. I think it's a massive reason to why people keep coming back, trying out new regiments and clans, starting their own with their friends. To a new player, the scale can be astounding. I can remember my first ever line battle in Napoleonic Wars. I was swept away with 200 players working together in order to achieve the objective. Looking around and seeing your artillery breach a hole in the fort of the enemy as the Black Watch charge in, or hearing the thud of hooves as the hussars ride on by, knowing that they are all real people, is an experience you won't get anywhere else.
Kill the Marines, lads! No, there's too many. Retreat! 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 Oh, no. Run away!
Run away!
Run away!
I left on Jake.
Run away!
You are French, stupid!
Single player. It cannot be denied that Mount and Blade Warband has one of the most unique and immersive single player campaigns to date in any game. The buzzing world map with lords roaming the land, plundering and pillaging settlements and besieging castles at their will. Caravans taking good from capitals to capital. It all adds to the immersion and feel that you are part of this ever-changing medieval world. Being able to have so much control over your troops in the map and battles alike. Ordering men to hold position, fire at will, charge whilst at the same time being in the thick of the action yourself. The freedom to customize your army to your will. May it be you want a predominantly cavalry army, or a mix of infantry and crossbows, you can do that. The rewarding feeling of training your first Swadian footman, to the feeling of power when 80 Swadian knights charge alongside you to the line of terrified Saranid recruits. Economy in Mount and Blade single player is important for your success. Building breweries, watchtowers, to upgrade villages and castles to create the kingdom of your own plan. So does that answer the question? I think it certainly helps, yet there are so many reasons that make Mount and Blade Warband a game that has kept the fanbase over the years. I have just gone over a few that cover most aspects, but I'm sure you can think of many more. If so, leave a comment below on what makes it the game for you. Go join the Mount and Blade Bannerlord Steam group, which is linked down below, and stay subscribed to the channel for more content like this and news on the up and coming Bannerlord game. But until then, I will see you in the next one.